Whatever you do, always, 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 before you start your collection. Hey there guys, gals, and everyone in between, it's Jonathan Steelflex here, and today we're going to be talking about Funko Pop collecting. Today we're just going to be going over the basics of what you need to know before starting your Funko Pop collection. Now, I made a YouTube short a few days ago talking about the very big ideas of what you need to know before getting a Funko Pop collection started. However, this video is going to be talking about more in-depth Funko Pop collecting, while trying to keep things basic enough but also give more detail than that video. So sit on back, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into this video. But really quick, I would like to thank the 11 subscribers that have joined our family. Thank you so much! I think this calls for celebration. That hurt my throat a lot. Is that what she said? Anyways, thank you all so much, and if you'd like to subscribe if you're new to the channel, please by all means do that. Like the video, subscribe, anything you'd like. But for real this time, let's get into the video. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about the basics. When you begin to collect Funko Pops, there's a few things you need to know. Number one, you need to know what kind of Funko Pops you want to invest in. You need to know what franchise you want to go for, whether it be one franchise or if you want to just get a whole bunch of franchises that you might like just in general. Make sure you commit to an idea, whether or not it's the one or multiple. You don't want to come across an issue later on down the line if you're starting with one and then realizing you want to change it up somehow. Number two, you need to know how much money will be going into it. Funko Pops are not cheap. Well, it depends on where you get it, I guess. At your local retail stores like GameStop, Walmart, all these places that you normally find Funko Pops at, these Funko Pops can be on sale for anywhere from $12 to $25, just depending on what kind of Funko it is. Whether it's a normal size Funko Pop like this, or if it's a big Funko Pop like this. I really hope I did that Babu Freak impression justice. Let me know down below if I did. But anyways, like I was saying before, this Funko Pop cost me about $12.99. However, this Funko Pop, I'd say cost me around maybe $25 to $30. I can't remember, it's been a minute. But that brings me into another idea. You want to make sure that you have the storage for Funko Pops. And like I said before, not all of them are going to be this size. You could have larger ones, you could have this size, there's even sizes in between. Some Funkos sit like this, some Funkos are sideways like a lot of the Grogu ones. Yeah, I guess I gotta go grab one to show you, don't I? Be right back. Like this one right here. Hopefully you see that, and I don't know if there's going to be a glare, but I hope you can see that. We have little Macy's Thanksgiving Parade Grogu, super cool. But anyways, you can have them different sizes, different shapes, just depending on how they come. Meaning that's going to be important that you need to have enough space and storage for whatever you end up getting. And by space and storage, I don't just mean a shelf, but also the space in an actual room. I like to make sure that I have a big open space, kind of like a blank wall, so I can put them on. If you see here on my wall, you can see that there's individual shelves put up, and that's because I didn't have any posters or anything, and I really just wanted to jazz up the place. So yeah, make sure you have enough space, because if you don't, then you can end up just having Funko Pops sitting all across the floor like this. Which, of course, I'm getting more shelves, so don't worry. It's not, I mean, it is a pigsty, but you know, we'll get there, we'll get there. So we talked about the licenses, we've talked about the price, we've talked about the space and the storage. To go along with the idea of the storage and the prices of the Funko Pops themselves, you might have seen comic books or baseball cards that have the little sleeve over it, if you know what I'm talking about. It's just a little plastic covering that goes over it to make sure if anything happens to it, it has a lot more protection for it. Guess I gotta get up again and grab one of these guys. So like I was showing you earlier, this Luke Skywalker, pardon that it's a little dusty. If you can see, there's a protector on here. So you see this little flap right here? This is called a soft case because it is more, I don't want to say flimsy, but it's more of a soft covering. Let me show you what I mean instead of soft case. So this is a hard case. I'm sure that makes a lot more sense now that you can see it, because it's an actual hard case. Like whenever you like, I'm sure you heard that. But these probably provide a lot more protection from a big fall or any kind of leaking or anything that could happen, just in case for some reason if there's any liquid in the room or whatever. They can also help with shelf damage, so if you have Funko Pops sitting on the shelf just without the case on them, over time you'll see little creases in the Funko Pop box. For example, I just got this Inquisitor Funko Pop a few weeks ago from a local store. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but there's a few corners there that look a little dented. Well, that's because the previous owner of this Funko Pop didn't really do a good job at putting any protection on it. So this is why it's very important, because this Funko Pop is somewhat rare and it's an exclusive. We'll get into that later. I just want to bring this up before we move on. These collectible stores might sell a lot of Funkos for a discounted rate because they might just want to get rid of them and, you know, make money off of them. So you might see some characters in whatever franchise you have that might not be fan favorites, and you might see that they have a Funko selling for $5. Always be on the lookout, because a bargain is always good. Now, let's move on to the more complicated things. Not all Funko Pops are created equal. As you recall earlier, I showed you the different size of Funko Pops. However, instead of different sizes, we also have different variants of Funko Pops. Here we have Cobb Vanth number 484. Notice that he has a helmet on and everything like that. And now we have Cobb Vanth 484 as well. However, do you notice anything different about this one? If you didn't notice, that's totally fine. We see right here that it says limited edition chase. What does that mean? Whenever you have a limited edition chase, it's quite literally a limited edition of a certain run of a Funko Pop. If you're into comic books, it's kind of like a variant cover. It's a more rare Funko Pop, and you probably won't see many of these in the stores. So if you're ever buying them online or in a store, you're probably going to see these a lot higher priced. So if you ever go to like a collectible store or online, anything like that, you'll probably see the prices on these are jacked up a little bit just because of the rarity. So yes, even though these two are the same except with the helmet and the Chase logo on it, they are both part of the collection, and I mean, depending on how you feel about it, I like to get all the Funkos in the Star Wars realm. Does it cost extra money? Yeah. However, my collection, I set out to try and get all the Funkos, which is something I want to touch on later because there is something you should probably know about collecting Funko Pops. But before we do that, I do want to talk about the other differences that we have in Funko Pop collecting. Like the limited edition Chase Funko Pops, we also have exclusives. Exclusives are quite literally exclusive to whatever store is selling the Funko Pop. For instance, if you can see here, this is a Target only Obi-Wan Kenobi Funko Pop. And as you can see here, this is a Walmart only Boba Fett. And although these are two normal sized Funko Pops, because the exclusivity on what store sold them, they really jack up the price. This Obi-Wan Kenobi was about $25, although the regular ones, like I said earlier, are about $12.99. So with all that being said, make sure you really know what you're getting into before you're starting your Funko Pop collection. That way there's no surprises later on. I know a lot of the time whenever I'm in a store and I'm trying to save money, I'll see over in the corner, ooh, the newest Funko Pop. My advice would be, unless it's an exclusive like the ones I just showed you, I would try and hold off on it, because since it's not an exclusive, it's probably not going to get much higher in price. However, if you do see one of those exclusives, like I said before, it may be a good idea to invest. Again, it's totally up to your budget and how you'd like to collect. Some people only collect certain characters that they really like, or characters that they think really look cool. Which, if that's what you would like, that's totally fine, because you know what? It's your collection. Me, on the other hand, I need it all. And that's okay as well. I mean, maybe not for my wallet, but that's totally fine. It's all about the passion and the love of what you want as a Funko Pop collector. And that goes for all collections as well, not just Funko Pops. However, I guess in this video we're just focusing on Funko, so let's just say just Funko Pops. Now, I know that was a lot of information thrown your way, and I know it might be kind of worrisome trying to figure it out all on your own. So here's a few tips that I want to give you to try and help you start out your collection. For starters, just know in the back of your head, you're probably not going to get all the Funko Pops. There are super rare Funko Pops that have come out back in 2012 that are just long gone. And when I say long gone, I mean they're selling for very high amounts of money. This is why it's kind of vital for you to discover if you really want to get into Funko Pop collecting, because with new TV shows like House of the Dragon debuting, you really want to make sure you know if you want to collect that. Because depending on the franchise and the popularity, these Funkos that you might buy for $15 might go for crazy amounts. It's also worth noting that there are different Funko Pops that come out for San Diego Comic-Con and certain exclusive events like that. So you might have to look for them online if you want to ever try and get them. But moving on right ahead, always try and set a budget whenever you're going out to get Funko Pops. I know a lot of times I've went out and I said I'm only allowing myself one Funko Pop, and then I kind of come back with 20. Funko collecting is a dangerous sport. Sometimes you can really manage to only get one, and then sometimes you can be like me and just lose it all. So always try and limit yourself and tell yourself, hey, let's just get one today, or however many you want. Another thing I do want to bring up about money, however, always make sure you know how much a Funko Pop should cost before buying it at a collectible store or online. If you don't mind, I'd like to give you a quick backstory to explain my point. I went to a collectible shop in a nearby town to start my Funko Pop collection. Me being a little bit clueless on the whole Funko game, I went in and I saw a whole bunch of exclusive Funko Pops. And me just starting out, I thought, oh, it's exclusive, it must be worth a lot. So I go up to the guy behind the counter and I say, excuse me sir, what's that Funko right there? And it was a really cool Star Wars Funko Pop, and of course you know, Star Wars. And he says that it's a very rare Funko Pop. It was worth $50 and it was a blue snaggletooth. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, that must mean it's pretty rare, and it had a sleeve protector on it and everything. So I went ahead and bought it because I thought that was so cool. A few months go by and I'm talking to a friend. I'm like, I wonder what my most valuable Funko Pop is. I'm looking around online and I see that the Snaggletooth Funko Pop that I got was like $20 on eBay. So yeah, Jonathan Steelflex, you got scammed. Which is totally fine as long as I can help you guys, gals, or anyone in between out with this kind of negligence towards knowing the product. That was a lot of verbiage that shouldn't have come out of me. But you get the point. So always make sure you do your research on how much a Funko should be before you end up buying it. Here's a tool that I like to use whenever I'm looking at how much a Funko Pop should be. I'll drop a link of the website that I'm using here in the description so you can check it out for yourself. But basically what this website is you type in whatever franchise you want to look for, and it should give you a nice list of every Funko Pop that came out in that franchise. And if you mess with the settings, you can get it in order of 1 to however many there are. So you'll scroll through and you'll see the number, you'll see the name, and you'll see how much the market value is going for. So that way whenever you're looking and you're seeing, oh, there's a $100 Funko Pop, and you check on that website and it might say a little less, you might want to check online to see if you can find it somewhere else. Which brings me to my next tool that I like to use to make sure I know what I'm looking for. eBay is a super helpful tool to see how much people are selling their Funko Pops for. Type in the number and the name of the Funko Pop that you're looking for and see how much people are selling it online for. On there it also says what condition it's in, so you can see if it's very good what it goes for, and if it's kind of poor what it goes for. That way you can get a good gauge as to what kind of deal you're getting. Another bit of information that I want to throw your way is, and this is a big one here, so focus. Whatever you do, always, before you start your collection, make 100% sure if you're going to open up your Funko Pops or if you are going to keep them in their box. I have opened countless amounts of Funko Pops in my past because I didn't think I was starting a collection, and now I've thrown out all the boxes and I have some very old school Funko Pops that I really wish I didn't throw away the boxes for. When I say old school, I really had a Darth Maul one, but it was one of the first printed ones that he had. Printed, sculpted, you know what I mean. But I really wish I could have kept that, but you know, I wasn't thinking. Hindsight is a great thing to have. However, it's also not really helpful. So, please make sure, please make sure you know if you're going to open them or not. But you can always put a Funko Pop out of the box and then put it right back in if you really want it back. Just know some Funkos can be difficult, so just be aware. Lastly, here's something that could help you out, and for those of you that are collecting only one franchise, this could really help you out. I found a website that has every single Star Wars Funko Pop listed from 1 to however many there are now. And that comes along with all the exclusives and all the variant types of Funko Pops that have come out with it. And what I like to do is I like to copy and paste it, put it in my notes, and also copy the link, that way it's just there just in case you need to find it later. And whenever I go out and I buy a Funko Pop, I like to check off whichever ones I have. So I'll put a little check mark emoji next to it, that way if I ever look through and I'm like, do I have it? And I see it, then I'm like, oh cool. This also helps out if you have a loved one or anyone like that that's trying to gift you a Funko Pop. That can be helpful to them, that way they can see what kind of franchise and how many Funkos you have and which ones they should and shouldn't get you. So yeah, I think that's about everything I've got for now. I didn't get home till super late, so unfortunately I might have forgot some things. So if I did, this is the perfect chance. Please, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comments below. Reach out, let me know what's going on. If you have any questions about Funkos, I'm here for you. If you have any questions about your personal life, I could try. But whatever happens, I just want to say one thing. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it because it's something that I enjoy talking about, and it's me putting it on something that I love talking on. Does that make sense? I hope so. If you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'd love to talk about it in the future. If I need to make a follow-up video or anything like that, I totally will. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every one of you watching. Again, to the 11 people that have subscribed, thank you so much for joining the gang. If you are new around here and you enjoyed what you saw today, please consider subscribing. I would truly appreciate it so much. It might not seem like it, I know I have RBF right now, but your feedback and you watching truly means so much to me. And it makes me feel like I'm not going to be going crazy. So I hope this helped you out. And once again, thank you guys, gals, and everyone in between for watching. This has been Steel Flare.